Congratulations! You have just been born as a Surinam toad, and before you even understand what you are, the world has already decided that you are not meant to be beautiful. You are meant to be forgotten. Look at yourself. You are flat, not slightly flat. You are flat like something that was already alive, laid down in the road, and got run over by every truck in South America. Your body is a soggy brown leaf that someone fished out of a swamp and forgot to throw away. You have no neck. You have no shape. You are a rectangle of wet skin with legs glued to the corners, and those legs were attached by an artist who clearly gave up halfway through. And your face. Oh, your face. You do not have a face the way other animals do. You have a blunt, triangular wedge with two tiny dots on top that are technically your eyes, except they barely work. They are small, they are lidless, and they stare at nothing, because in the murky brown water you call home, there is nothing to see anyway. You will spend your entire life half blind, lying motionless at the bottom of a muddy pond, pretending to be the dead leaf that you already resemble. But here is the first cruel joke. You do not even get a tongue. Almost every frog and toad on this planet has one. A long, sticky, spectacular tongue that shoots out and grabs prey in a fraction of a second. It is the one cool thing your entire family is famous for. And you were born without it. Evolution looked at you and said, no, not for this one. So how do you eat? You wait. You sit in the dark, flat, and motionless, and you spread out the long, strange fingers on your front feet. And on the tips of those fingers are tiny, star-shaped sensory organs. Little feelers that twitch in the water, searching for movement. You cannot see your food. You cannot taste the water for it. You just lie there in the blackness, fingers splayed out like a creature in a nightmare, feeling for the faintest vibration of something small and stupid swimming too close. And when something does swim too close, you do not chase it. You cannot chase anything. Your whole strategy is to be a rock that suddenly isn't. You lunge, you open your wide flat mouth, and you create a vacuum that sucks the prey inside before it even knows the leaf was alive. If you are lucky. If you are not, it swims away, and you go back to waiting in the dark, hungry, blind, and flat, for hours, for days. This is your life, lying in filth, feeling for crumbs. But none of that is why it truly sucks to be born as you. You could survive the flatness, the dead eyes, the missing tongue. What you cannot escape is what your body does when it is time to make more of you. Because the way your species reproduces is one of the most disturbing things that has ever evolved on Earth. It starts in the water. With a dance, the male grabs the female and holds on in a grip that can last for hours. And as they turn and tumble through the water together, the female releases her eggs, but she does not lay them on a leaf. She does not bury them in the mud. As the eggs drift upward, the male presses them down, one by one, onto her back, onto her own skin, and then the horror begins. Her back, the skin on the top of her body, begins to swell. It grows up and around each egg, soft and spongy, rising like dough until each egg is sitting in its own little pocket of living flesh. The skin closes over the top, and now the eggs are gone, buried, embedded inside the mother's own body, sealed under a thin layer of her own skin. Picture 60, 80, over 100 eggs, sunk into your back in neat little chambers, like a horrible honeycomb made of meat. From the outside, the mother now looks like she has a terrible disease. Her back becomes a grid of bulging, swollen lumps, each one a dark dome with something growing inside it. People who see it for the first time cannot look away, and they cannot keep looking. It triggers something deep and primal in the human brain. It is one of the most famous images of disgust in the entire animal kingdom. And inside each of those pockets, you are growing. You start as an egg, then you become a tadpole, wriggling in your tiny flesh chamber. But here is another twist, because your species refuses to do anything the normal way. You do not hatch as a tadpole and swim off into the world like every other frog. No, you stay. You stay buried inside your mother's back, sealed in your pocket of skin, and you keep developing. You grow legs in there. You grow arms in there. You absorb your tail in there. You become a fully formed, miniature toad, complete in every way, all while encased in living flesh, in the dark, fed, and protected by the body of your mother. For 3, Sometimes 4 months, this goes on. Your mother carries you, dozens of you, embedded in her back, swimming through the swamp looking like a walking pincushion of doom. She does not get to put you down. She is a living incubator, and her own skin is the wall of your nursery. And then comes the day you have to leave. And this is where it becomes truly the stuff of nightmares. Because there is no gentle hatching. There is no soft emergence into the water. When you are ready, you push. You shove against the roof of your little skin chamber, and the skin tears open, and you erupt out of your mother's back. Tiny, perfect toads, bursting one after another out of holes in their own mother's flesh, like something climbing out of a grave. Heads first, then little arms, clawing their way out into the open water, leaving behind a back full of empty, ragged, gaping pockets. Your first experience of the world is shoving your way out through the back of another living creature. And imagine being the mother. Imagine your own skin splitting open in 100 places as your children claw their way out of you. After it is over, she sheds the whole ruined layer of skin, scraping it off against rocks and plants, leaving it behind like a horrible discarded blanket. And then, eventually, she may do it all over again. This is your inheritance. You were not laid in a safe little cluster of jelly in a quiet pond. You were sealed inside your mother. You grew in the dark of her flesh, and you were born by tearing your way out of her back into a swamp, where you will immediately start the same flat, blind, tongueless existence she had. There is no childhood. The moment you erupt, you are on your own. A tiny, flat leaf creature in a vast brown world full of fish and birds and snakes that would happily swallow you whole. And you will spend that life doing almost nothing. You will sink to the bottom. You will lie still. You will spread your fingers and wait. You will be mistaken for debris, for a dead leaf, for a piece of bark. And that is exactly the point. Because being mistaken for garbage is the only way you survive. Predators ignore you because you do not look alive. You barely are. You are a master of being nothing, of disappearing in plain sight at the bottom of the murk. And if you are born a male, do not think you have it easier. You may not carry the eggs in your skin, but your role in this nightmare is its own kind of doom. You must find a female in the blackness, grip onto her, and hold that grip for hours as you both somersault through the water, again and again, in a slow, exhausting underwater ballet. You are not embracing her out of love. You are pressing her eggs down into her back with your own body, sealing your offspring inside another creature with your own weight. And once it is done, once her back is loaded and the deed is complete, you are finished. You drift off into the murk, used up, while she carries the consequences for months. You played your part in the most disturbing nursery in nature, and then you simply leave, back to lying flat in the dark, waiting to do it all again next season, if you live that long. And living that long is never guaranteed. The swamp does not care that your mother's back was torn apart to release you. The water you live in is low on oxygen, thick with mud, and crowded with things that want to eat you. You cannot run. You cannot fight. You have no shell, no venom, no speed, no claws worth fearing. Your only weapon is stillness, and stillness only works until the day it doesn't. One careless twitch, one moment of being seen, and a heron's beak ends the whole flat, blind, clicking, egg-bursting saga of your life in an instant. And the swamp goes on as if you were never there at all, because to everything around you, you were nothing more than a leaf. You will never sing the beautiful songs other frogs sing in the night. You cannot. Instead, when a male wants to find a mate, he makes a sound by snapping a tiny bone in his own throat, a sharp metallic click underwater, over and over in the dark. No melody, just a lonely clicking from a flat creature hidden in the silt, hoping another flat creature hears it. So no, it does not suck a little to be born as a Surinam toad. It sucks in a way no other animal quite manages. You are flat, blind, and tongueless. You spend your life imitating trash at the bottom of a swamp. You communicate by cracking your own bones, and you began your existence by clawing out through the back of your mother, leaving her riddled with holes, just so that one day your own back can swell with eggs, your own skin can close over your young, and your own body can become the living tomb that the next generation tears its way out of. Welcome to the world, little leaf. Try not to be seen. It is the only thing you are good at.